Tonight, the massive legal win for President-elect Trump in his Georgia election interference case. A Georgia appeals court kicking District Attorney Fani Willis off the case over the appearance of a conflict of interest due to her relationship with the special prosecutor in the investigation.
I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial.
The ruling, the latest twist in a winding tale of money, romance, and allegations of election interference. Willis forced to acknowledge a relationship she had with the special prosecutor she appointed to the case, Nathan Wade, and facing allegations she benefited from the relationship by accompanying him on lavish trips funded by payments from her office. Willis taking the stand herself in an explosive disqualification hearing.
I don't need anything from a man. A man is not a plan. A man is a companion. And so there was tension always in our relationship.
Insisting the two split costs and that she repaid him for many expenses, but always in cash.
You never wrote him a check?
Ma'am, I don't have checks.
You don't have a single solitary deposit slip to corroborate or support any of your allegations that you were paid by Mrs. Willis in cash, do you?
No, sir.
Not a single solitary one.
Not a one.
Willis's testimony about her relationship with Wade, at times unusual.
Mr. Wade is used to women that, as he told me one time, the only thing a woman can do for him is make him a sandwich.
Well, that's the problem right there. This has obviously become more about her life than prosecuting President Trump. I don't know why she's taking this prosecution of Trump so personal that any small part of her personal life that intersects with this case should disqualify her from being on it. It ain't no argument. Now, you want to prosecute the president, then you go hire a special prosecutor, then you have a relationship with the special prosecutor. You should have known as a district attorney that that's a disqualifying act, and you did it. And you want to, what is so important about you prosecuting Trump? Let it go. You ran on that shit, you won, and you should just enjoy your time as a prosecutor. But I guess if you don't go pit bull on Trump, then you lied to your constituency. But I let it go. That'll be a lie I had to roll with, because if someone else deems it that important, and what went on down there in Georgia with the election, that you want to bring up new charges or continue these charges against the president-elect, then do it. But I would not encourage it. I just don't understand the anger coming from the black community when it comes to Trump actively trying to prosecute him. Pissed off because he ain't going to prison, or you don't think he's going to prison or whatever. It's like, why do we want to see this man harmed this way? And I'm not protecting him. I'm just wondering, where is that aggression coming from black people? Why are they so anti-Trump, black people? Has he been directly anti-black? Is he a racist in a bigger sense than what's normal in America? I mean, is that what we're seeing here? Because I'm not understanding why black people got this thing for Trump. In an open election, have an opportunity to vote against Kamala Harris or Trump. I totally see how the majority of people who are black could vote for Kamala Harris, but not in the numbers that we did, not based on their track records and their histories and what we know about both of them. That kind of shocked me. But this lady here needs to go sit down and chill. You cannot be that way. And then she's on the witness stand in her hearing, her own hearing, and she's sounding like she got some kind of personal issue going on with the man that she appointed as the special prosecutor for the Trump case. So I don't know what to make of it, except she should just back up and just be like, okay, you don't have to remove me. I'm going to remove myself. You can do that. So there's a conflict. I hate Trump so much that I'm not able to give him a fair shake. Just say them words and then step off.
Willis's testimony about her relationship with Wade recalled birthday celebrations and trips they shared.
I spent $900 on each of our tickets to go to Belize. They would pair champagne, chocolate, and caviar. I did 50 big.
Just as country as hell. Just country. I did 50 big. Nobody cares. This is supposed to be about the prosecution of Donald Trump, and you up here letting us know even a small crack in the window of your life that you did 50 big. We don't care. We don't care. Whatever's going on in there that's causing you to require this kind of attention, you need to figure it out. Stop.
Very big.
But other combative moments earning her this rebuke from the judge.
It's going to be my first time out to caution. We have to listen to the questions as asked. And if this happens again and again, I'm going to have no choice but to strike your testimony.
Yeah, because she's being inappropriate. She's a district attorney and this is a judge. District attorneys and judges work together all day. But when they get on the witness stand, then the real person comes out. It ain't so much fun when you ain't on the other side. It ain't so much fun when the rabbit got the gun. And now you sitting over there kind of just being combative. And it's like, if it's that serious, even if it is a personal matter or something deeply going on inside you that's not allowing you to prosecute this case properly, step down. Just be like, you know what, I'm going to let this go. It ain't worth it. My own personal life is more important than this. You can have a good work-life balance and prosecute other cases and let everybody know I really underestimated Donald Trump's the hatred I have for him, and admit it to your constituents and tell me sorry, but do a good job in every other way. I think they'll be okay. But what you're doing is inappropriate. You're just dragging a whole bunch of stuff into the national media, and it doesn't need to happen. I don't think this is going to help your career.
Judge Scott McAfee ultimately decided to allow Willis to stay on the case, despite what he called a tremendous lapse in judgment, saying that although there was an appearance of a conflict, the defense did not fully prove there was one. But tonight, a Georgia Court of Appeals ruling Willis should be...
He basically saying that it's obviously a conflict, but the defense did a horrible job and didn't prove it. I mean, that's damn. The judge is sitting there like probably like, oh my God, I can't believe that this country allows this shit. And I think anytime a black person wants to go against somebody like a Donald Trump, and it's basically something that most, district attorneys who are white wouldn't want to do. And these black district attorneys are rolling up their sleeves and going at it. Total perfect examples of Stockholm Syndrome. That's all I can attribute it to. I don't understand why you would protect, even if you're going against a person who you consider racist, you don't protect your oppressor from that. You let them two collide. You get out the way. That's a smart thing to do. So when the bloodshed starts spraying, you're out of the way. You know what I mean? Anybody get caught up you won't be in it. But you're frontline personnel. You're trying to get out there and mix it up with Donald Trump. Everybody who already screwed up is trying to ease their way out of this stuff, and you're just standing your ground, locked in. Let's see how far this gets you.
Wholly disqualified from the case, saying the appearance of a conflict is enough. The ruling throwing into turmoil what some experts once considered the most legally perilous of Trump's 4 criminal cases, a sprawling indictment on racketeering charges over Trump's alleged attempts to overturn the 2020 election in Georgia.
We look at the facts, we look at the law, and we bring charges.
Willis's office accused Trump of pressuring officials to reverse President Biden's win in the Peach State, pointing to this now infamous call with Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger.
I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state.
The indictment.
When I heard that phone conversation back then, I was like, no way. For a person to do that in a country and get reelected again after doing that. So if you're not in that fray, it's best to step back and observe. Because if you live in a country that a person, whoever they might be, can do that and then run for office again and win, I don't know what to say. I just want to observe now. I want to be a person who's a student of this government and the way we live over here, because that seems like the ultimate disqualifier. That's the kind of stuff that we would look at a leader in another country and have all kind of commentary on. So this kind of stuff right here does baffle me, I must say. But it also baffles me why black females feel to be such important pieces of the Democratic arsenal when it comes to attacking Republicans. And they have yet to form a coalition amongst themselves and something that can help their people and help us and make them recognize black men appropriately, because we are completely out of the picture. I mean, damn. I had to start a YouTube channel. They just wouldn't let me get on CNN or none of those stations. So here I am. But I had to get myself out there and let you guys know that we all got our own problems with Trump, and we all got our own problems with Biden as well, but we can't ignore one and accentuate the other, or vice versa. But I do believe the one that you voted for, you have the most right to talk badly about. The one who your family has wasted decades voting for, your loved ones, your teachers, your co-workers, your friends, and living in bubbles so small that we believe that because everybody in our bubble supports Biden or supports Kamala Harris, that she's going to win, without really going out into the ocean and understanding that all these little bubbles who are locked in on their candidates, whoever they might be, once you get out there and speaking of this country as the ocean, this is a very diverse country, and it's a lot of people who support a lot of Trump's ideas. And it's in complete contrast with what the Democrats are doing. We've heard that so much in our life that we think it's normal and we think it's right. It isn't. We need to hear other things. And that doesn't mean that the Republicans is right either. But it might be that moment where we wake up and take this country in a different direction as a people party movement, who we really make them start dancing to our music as opposed to being the other way around. I think that'd be the beautiful thing to see.
Leading to a stunning moment in American history, the first mugshot of a former president. Trump, joined by 18 co-defendants, a constellation of election attorneys and former administration officials, who Willis said conspired to pull off the election heist.
She's been exposed. I can't imagine they can continue on with that case.
Willis's office plans to appeal this new decision to the Georgia Supreme Court.
She plans to appeal it. Why? They're removing you as the head prosecutor on that case, or any parts of that case. Removing you. Accept it. It's a professional issue. It's not like they're discriminating against you because you're black or because you're female or any of that kind of stuff. And if you're using that as an excuse, you're doing a disservice to women who really are being harmed because of those reasons. You're being removed because of decisions you made. Had you not appointed that gentleman as your special prosecutor and began a romantic relationship with him, and it obviously got nasty between you two, that's on you. You have to keep your personal life out of the public eye, and you can't be expecting people to hug on you and expect that they're going to support you and this bullshit. You can't support this. You're a bad person in relationships, maybe. You might be a great district attorney. I doubt it, but you might be. But you damn sure bad in relationships. And to think that some dude who you dating, like you said, you don't need no man and all that, then you should find a way to keep your work and your dating separate. You shouldn't need to be around a man so much that you gotta watch. Did you not trust him or something? Or was you trying to show off and take the opportunity to give him a little wealth or a little money, or you guys were using that, because that's what they're kind of accusing you of doing, taking the money, giving it to him going on lavish vacations and taking you with him. That does have the smell of, something ain't right here. You kind of would pick, without any deep training. And you're a district attorney. I think you knew what you were doing, or you would have been doing it more openly and publicly. Or you would have documented the transfer of funds so that we can definitely account your paychecks as to paying for those dates, and his paychecks paying for those dates, and not the funds that were being procured from the taxpayers and meant to be in the interest of a prosecution of Donald Trump. It just stinks to high heaven, and you shouldn't have did it. And it's no defense for it. I can't defend that, and I won't.
But if Willis remains off the case, a prosecutor from a different county may pick up the prosecution. That process could be lengthy to revive a case. Now,
why would you? The man is the damn president-elect. Why would you? What are you trying to do? Let him do it. Let her do it. Let him fight. As I'm just saying, you guys, this is why we can't progress, because we're fighting for dumb shit. You're not going to win this one, Fani. It ain't going to happen for you. Find something else to do that hopefully will revive your career and get you back on track. You still have a job. Shit. All you got to do is let this one go. Let it go. It's all right.
On life support.
Vaughn Hilliard joins us once again from West Palm Beach, Florida. So, Vaughn, as this case sort of winds through the legal system, as you alluded to there at the end of your report, have we heard from President-elect Trump and his team about this ruling from the appeals court?
We have heard from a spokesman for the now president-elect who said that on November 5th, American voters made their decision and called for the end of, as the spokesman put it, the end of political prosecutions. Of course, we'll wait to see whether the Georgia Supreme Court ultimately puts the district attorney, Fani Willis, back on this case. But for now, this is another legal victory for Donald Trump, his team, and a setback for those who sought to hold Donald Trump accountable for what they said was election interference dating back to the 2020 campaign. Tom?
All right, Vaughn Hilliard, we thank you for that. For more on what this means for...
Guys, seems like Donald Trump has done enough stuff as far as, kind of getting the January 6th visitors to the Capitol who just did a little walkthrough over there. He seemed to have gotten them people kind of whipped into a frenzy and sent them over there, and then that phone call, man, it's been a while since I'd heard that. And I was like, damn, that's some out in your face kind of stuff. I could shoot somebody. He's done some bold things. And I just think that the American public is just tired of people being big old behind the scenes liars and appearing perfect out in public. And Trump is more like full of fault, curses, does things that are inappropriate, unethical, but maybe people can relate to that a little better than they can people like Biden, who has all of the rat droppings around him, but you just don't see the rat. You're like, where is that thing? I know we have rats, but we don't see them, but we see the rat droppings. That's the Biden way. With Trump, you will see the rat dropping the droppings is the way it's going with him, because he's out there in the open and still able to garner a significant amount of the electorate. That's just the most fascinating shit in the world to me. And Biden just, I can't believe that his support is as good as it is, because if Biden primaried against Kamala, he would win. I don't think she could beat Biden in a primary, but it just lets you know how fickle this country is when it comes to elections. It's just something to sit back and watch and learn from, and really learn from, you guys. A lot of people are more caught up in who they like than who's good for the country, or who they like as opposed to who the majority of the other people in the country like. Because just because you like somebody, you should be respected for your belief or your ideas or whatever is driving you to that person. But you can't be upset when other people don't respect your idea or your belief, because that's another caveat to our election process and us as citizens. We're not very respectful of other people's ideas and thoughts politically.
The election fraud case against President-elect Trump. NBC News legal analyst Danny Savalos joins us now on set. Danny, we were just talking as we listened to sort of that greatest hits from that one day when she was questioned. You're not surprised by this. Will she appeal this?
She will appeal it, and I'm not surprised. And I wasn't surprised back when Judge McAfee gave his opinion, and here's why. Judge McAfee concluded on the one hand that Willis's and Wade's testimony was very problematic. He said it had the odor of mendacity, Tom. Now, Tom, I looked up the word mendacity, and it's bad. It means not truthful. It means dishonest, right? I'm sure you knew that. Yeah. I didn't. But you can't make that conclusion and then conclude, well, my remedy is that either you're all disqualified, or here's an alternative. That one prosecutor, Wade, as long as he goes, everything is fine. From the outset, that was a problematic resolution. It was saying two things at the same time, that the level of dishonesty was significant.
Yeah, and if she was involved in any dishonesty, just removing the special prosecutor who she was dating, who she probably ain't dating no more, they broke up or whatever, or maybe they weren't off and on, who knows. But if the judge felt he had to remove that gentleman, he should have said, well, you're the one who brought him into this. And I think your judgment was bad in that respect or in that regard. So we're going to remove you as well. So hopefully going forward, we won't have any bad judgment moves going on. That's just what I would have done and how I look at it.
But also the remedy doesn't even involve getting rid of the DA, that you had trouble with her testimony. Yeah. So I am not surprised that the appellate court arrived at this conclusion, because they took the original factual findings and said, this is the proper outcome. Now, can reasonable minds disagree? Absolutely. That's why maybe they have a shot when they take it to the next and last stop, which is the Supreme Court, Georgia.
I want to put this up on the screen.
To the Supreme Court. You go all the way to the Supreme Court to be the district attorney to prosecute Trump. Couldn't another district attorney? I'm clear on them removing Fani from the case. Does another DA have to file it? Will another DA file it? Is she feeling that if she's removed, no one else will pursue it the way she is, in that pit bullish way that she has? And incorporating her personal life in this shit. I think that's just it right there for me. If I was a judge and I see somebody bringing their personal dating experiences and the caviar that they had on their 50th birthday, that shit ain't important to me. I don't want to hear a thing about it. I don't want to know that you're even 50. I don't need to know. I need you to tell me why you hired somebody who you're romantically involved with and made them the special prosecutor and knew that they were going to have access to resources. Unacceptable.
Screen for our viewers so they can see this. This case obviously doesn't just involve Donald Trump, right? Fani Willis has been working years on this. It involves several defendants, okay? A total of 15, I think, who have pleaded not guilty, along with 4 defendants that agreed to plead guilty. Here it is, to some charges and cooperate with the government. Would a new prosecutor be starting from scratch here? I mean, what happens?
So now this case is essentially adrift with no one at the helm. You have to find a prosecutor's office, because it wasn't just Willis that was disqualified. Her entire office was disqualified. So even though the indictment was not tossed, it's a case without a shepherd.
Yeah, it's not a case then, because you can't have sheep without shepherds. Her people should be very disappointed in her that they've worked hours, possibly tirelessly, to get to this point, and that it would end up in nothing because the shepherd, so to speak, can't keep her personal life out of her business life. If she can't go on business trips and can't go to work without having a romantic interest in the work, then that is a problem. It's a big problem, especially when it comes to trying to prosecute a former president. That's pretty crazy. And that guy seems like he was having a lot of fun with it in that short piece I seen on him on the witness stand. I don't think he's in any trouble in any way. It's just pretty much either he's going to be retained or not, and we know now that he wasn't. But Fani, she should be released as well, just because of her judgment. Her judgment isn't good, and they should review her or use this as part of her review in being a district attorney. That cannot make you a stronger DA. It will make you questionable in some areas.
There's nobody dragging this case through the process. It is truly adrift. So they need to find someone, whether the attorney general or another prosecutor, is willing to take the case. And if you're an elected official, how interested are you in taking over this garbage fire that has become the case in Atlanta? Probably not.
So the big question, Danny, we have a president-elect coming in. Okay, this has just happened. Is this case done? Is this over?
In my opinion, this case was done the minute that hearing that we watched started. This case is in huge trouble. They have no prosecutor. And then even then, they have challenges with the case anyway. This is a jurisdiction that took 8 months to select a jury in a much less infamous trial. This is a place where I think Donald Trump, this case, I've been saying this for a while now. It goes away. I don't know how it's going to go away, because there are so many off-ramps for Trump and the other defendants. But one way or another, I think eventually this case goes bye-bye.
Yeah, I agree. It isn't going to be something that just because Fani Willis doesn't want to let it go. She was very fortunate to be able to get elected DA running on prosecuting Trump and it being successful. Because I'm telling you, this country is fucking fickle. To go from where we were then to where we are now, she would not in her wildest nightmares think that Donald Trump would be the president-elect. And she would be being thrown off the case that she was able to successfully bring against him. But it is what it is, folks. And everybody out there who is pointing fingers and talking about folks, look at yourself. That's what Fani Willis, we've all got all kind of little skeleton bones in our closet, and you cannot be opening up other closets, because if you aren't at your closet to make sure you keep that door closed. Good Lord, folks. But that's our Fani Willis. Hopefully this is one of the few times heading down the path of not hearing from her anymore, because she had her 15 minutes of fame. Like, comment, share, and please subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.